So over the past few weeks, we've seen quite a few reports of players saying that they die while riding the cave elevator upwards. Some of these reports mention crouching, some of them mention jumping, some of them mention opening up the inventory, some of them mention standing on the pickaxe. And this has been quite an elusive issue. Some players it happens consistently, sometimes rarely, and for some players it never happens at all. And after quite a bit of smashing my head against this, I think I've finally found some insight into what's actually going on here. It turns out that the physics interactions that occur in the elevator change depending on the system's frame rate. So for reference, I play with frame rate caps set to the default of 165, right in the middle of the range. When I ride the elevator upwards, if I stand on top of the pickaxe, notice that regardless of what state I'm in, the pickaxe is perfectly stationary and the player is perfectly stationary. So that's normal behavior, normal physics interactions with a high frame rate. So now I'm going to drop the frame rate down to the minimum of 24 and repeat this same input. Right away you can see a little bit of side-to-side wiggling. I open up the briefcase and we're already getting some different behavior. This time the suitcase seems to be dropping much lower than it normally does. And in this particular test, the pickaxe fell through the floor and is now at the bottom of the elevator shaft. So even with this information in mind, it's still not 100% reliable reproduction steps, but pretty clearly there are some differences in behavior depending on the frame rate. So the most reliable setup that I've managed to find is to place the head of the pickaxe pointing towards the gate, crouch on top of it, and what seems to be the case is it's not the elevator that's killing the player, it's actually the pickaxe colliding with the player's hitbox. We'll patiently ride down to the bottom again. There we go. We got it. So, just for clarity, I'm going to see if I can get it to reproduce again. But every time that I've been able to reproduce this bug, it has been in exactly this circumstance of setting the frame rate down to 24, crouching on top of the pickaxe, and opening up the briefcase. That time it just clipped through the floor, unfortunately. Oh! There we got it. So I thought the pickaxe clipped all the way down that time, but I guess it just disappeared from view briefly. And just for clarity, set this up to high again so we can confirm for ourselves that this isn't a fluke, that this is actually related to the bug. Yeah, the key difference we see here is that with a high frame rate, the suitcase always stays at the same height as the elevator. They are perfectly in sync with each other. And for whatever reason, it's at a lower frame rate that's no longer true. That the suitcase can go lower than the platform, clip into the pickaxe, and then the pickaxe model clips into the player, causing death. Just like that. So, hope this was helpful. I know this has been kind of a thorn in a lot of people's craws, I imagine both for players and the development team. But yeah, there we go. Problem solved.